What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bleeding Blue Podcast. Today's episode is episode, ready for it, Ryan? Number 69. Nice. Pretty good. Yeah, it's exciting. It's if we're gonna talk about something positive, then we'll talk about the Bills because right now, again, it's basically the exact same thing as we said last week. It has been easy, relaxing, and fun watching this Bills team honestly just dominate. They're the second best team in the entire league, I'd want to say. Second, third, probably, somewhere around there. I mean, Detroit's also up there as one of the better teams in the league right now, but Buffalo's a dominant team. They've got a tough stretch coming up ahead of them, obviously. They got a great game that we'll prepare for, and we'll talk about in a little bit against the Chiefs. But yeah, Colts completely fumbled the bag. Lots of turnovers. Flacco, I mean, he's an old man playing football as the QB for them, so it really wasn't too much of a competition. Obviously, they've got their main QB out right now for the Colts, but I think it was an entertaining game. If you missed it, we did a live stream, and it ended up going pretty well for the most part. We got a high of 13 listeners, so anyone that was there, thanks for listening. And yeah, it's been pretty good. Ryan, let's hear it. Bills, how are we feeling though right now?
I feel very good. There's obviously some injuries that we have to talk about.
Yeah.
John Coleman's out for this week. Dalton Kincaid's I think he's questionable or doubtful actually to play this week. Still don't know about Amari Cooper. Didn't see if he practiced at all this week yet, but hopefully he plays because that'll be a problem if we don't have a main receiver in next week. But yeah, all aside from that, the team's looking very good right now. Defense is top notch. The only problem is the right now is the run defense. I think could be a bit better. At the beginning of the game in the first half with Jonathan Taylor, he was running all over the defense, but we kind of slowed them down a bit towards the end, which was good to see. But yeah, against a team like the Chiefs, we got to stop them the whole game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Taylor had 21 carries for 114 yards, and like half of that was in the first half, I'm pretty sure. So we kind of stopped him at the end, but got to be better on that part throughout the whole game. But aside from that, the offense was great. Allen had a few miscues during the game, but he redeemed himself. He played really good. Had 280 yards of passing yards. He had 50 yards on the ground with a rushing touchdown. I don't know. Even though he played kind of like shit, he still played a decent game. So
the shit game is happened the game before we faced the Chiefs, so that's important. So he gets it all out of the way, knows what he's going to do, and I think he's going to have a fucking great game.
Yeah, and also the help is we got receiving on the receiving end. A lot of guys are getting the ball. Like Curtis Samuel had 4 catches. I think that's the most he's had this year. Ty Johnson out of the backfield had 3. Mac Hollins had 4 catches. Shakir is always the number one receiver when Cooper and Coleman are out. He's got 6 catches. So they're everyone's producing, man. That's what I like to see. They're sharing. Josh Allen's sharing the ball. He doesn't have to force it to dig like he had to last year. So this team's looking very good right now. This is the first time the Bills have been 8-2 since 1993. So over 30 years since they've been this good. So, and you know what they did that year, Ryan?
They went to the Super Bowl.
They went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So hopefully that continues, and maybe we see another appearance by them. So, but yeah, I think I talked a lot about the Bills during the live stream, but yeah, I'm very happy with how this team's looking. Yeah, and very excited for the games ahead.
Yeah, it's hard to say what other teams are better than them right now. I think they have
Detroit's a better team.
Yeah,
I'd say Baltimore's interchangeable. Yeah. Kansas City's not a better team than Buffalo. Let's be real. Even though they're 9-0, half their wins have been pure luck. Like especially last week with the blocked field goal, which is complete bullshit. So I'm going to make a bold statement right now and say the Bills are going to absolutely destroy them this week. It probably won't happen. It'll probably be a close game, but I just hope Josh Allen. Josh Allen never has a bad game against Kansas City. He's going to have another good performance. I'm very much looking forward to this game, and I'm hoping Josh Allen can just destroy that Chiefs defense. The defense is the main component of that Chiefs team right now. Steve Spagnuolo, their defensive coordinator, is very good. He has been for a while, so I'm not going to doubt them and that their defense is keeping them at bay. It's mainly the fucking offense that's been shady in Kansas City with Mahomes with his 9 interceptions. But I think the Bills win this handedly. We're at home. We're not playing at Arrowhead. The crowd is definitely going to be alive in that place Sunday afternoon, and it's going to be a fun one. But I think the Bills win that easily. I'm going to say 31-17. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. I think Allen has a great game. I think if Amari Cooper plays, he'll have a nice game. But yeah, I feel very confident in this team right now that they can beat Kansas City. If Kansas City's struggling against the Broncos.
Right now, it's pretty much confirmed Keon Coleman is out for this week. Amari Cooper's questionable. Curtis Samuel's questionable right now. Another wide receiver. And then Dalton Kincaid was the other guy, the tight end that got injured in the last game. So I hope as long as a couple of those guys are back, I especially think if Amari Cooper and Dalton Kincaid are back, then it's going to be very good and very helpful to this team. But again, we need our star wide receivers. We need those guys. Those are really important players to this team. We picked up Amari Cooper to help us out, and it hasn't been like he's been out for the last couple of weeks. So
half the games he's been here for, he hasn't played. So
yeah.
The thing is, though, after this week we have a bye week, so that's also good for resting players and getting them back to being healthy, and then we have a tough 3-game stretch ahead of that. So. But yeah, like I've said multiple times in the past week, this team looks very good. I have no worries. Matt Milano also probably our best defensive player is coming back soon. Well, he's not coming back yet. He's on like a 21-day practice thing. So he's on the practice list right now, and for 21 days, it'll show whether or not he will be able to play for the rest of the year or not. And if he does pass the test or whatever during those 21 days, then he'll be back on the team. So that's a big step up if he can get healthy again. Definitely the best player on our team in terms of defensive play and just impact that he makes for that defense. So very excited about that. That's all the news really.
Hopefully,
team looks very good.
It's going to be a big one. That's a big one.
I'm very excited, man. Very excited.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll I think what time is the game? Is that 1?
No, 4:30.
4:30. Okay, yeah. And, unfortunately, there will not be a live stream for Sunday.
Yeah, I can't either. I have stuff to do. I have family pictures to take with Santa, which is going to be great. Just taking up the time to watch Bills Chiefs, but it's okay. It's family time, so
there you go. Yeah,
that's more important.
Never take advantage or never think that. Never say no to family time. I'd say that. That's something you always got to think.
It's important. It's an important part of your life. So
yeah, for sure.
Got to put that as the priority.
Anyway, let's move on to another team that has been. Last game was not good. They played. If we talk about the Leafs. The Leafs, they had a big game on Saturday against the Canadiens, a very good game. Again, they're still second in the Atlantic Division right now. There's not too much to worry about. Because right now, that division, still early, has not been good. It's been like Boston's 8-7, Ottawa is fucking 8-7, and then the rest of the teams are pretty much 500 or below 500.
Yeah.
So
Everyone's mediocre in this division apart from Florida. So, yeah, and then you look at the Metropolitan Division, and the top 4 teams are all wagons. Like, they're all insane so far this year.
Washington has been fucking the story.
I mean, New Jersey has also played 19 games, and the other 4, the other 3 teams below them have played 5 less. So, I can't believe the Devils have played 19 games already. That's crazy.
That is crazy. That is a quarter of the games.
Frank is having a lot of fun watching that team,
bro. But they're. I mean, in first place, yeah, they've played more games.
They won't be for long though.
I know, but still, they're not a terrible team. Like, they're not a bad team.
No, they're better than they were last year.
Yeah, they were, and I keep seeing videos of Frank the Tank going, they're worse than they were last year. They're absolutely feeble. I can't believe this. The 100-year drought incoming. I was like, dude, like, I swear you were a positive guy. I saw you watching the Mets have that playoff run, and you were so happy.
Story. At least
you were
winning.
A joy. You were a different man. Now you go to all these New Jersey Devils games, and you're like, fuck this team. I hate everybody on this team, you know. Even though they're like good, but Carolina's been great. They're always good. Washington's been great. Rangers have been good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a tough division. I'm happy we're not
this week though. This week with the Leafs, they played pretty good. Apart from last night's game against Ottawa, that was a fucking atrocious game. Yeah. I think the team was just fucking exhausted, even though they had a 3-day break. I just think the team was, they were playing so well. Like they beat Boston 4-0. I don't think we covered that game when we were on the last pod, but that was a great game. I loved watching that. I think it was the first time the Leafs beat Boston in 2 years in the regular season, which is hard to believe. That was nice to watch. Great shutout by who was it? Stolarz in net. Yeah, he played fucking awesome that game. He played great. And then we played Detroit on Friday. That was a nice game to watch. It was a little tight towards the end, but Detroit's a good team, man. They're very good. They should have been in the playoffs last year, if I'm completely honest. But they played good, and Leafs just played a little bit better. Stolarz with another great game, allowing only 1 goal. So the goaltending's not the problem here. The Marner's been looking really good this week. Nylander's been looking great. Tavares had 2 goals that game against Detroit. I think he almost had 3. I think they called it back or something, like they were with Marner's goal or something. But yeah, the top players have been playing very good without Matthews in the lineup, so that's always good to see.
You're right, and I don't know if he's out for the next game.
They haven't said anything yet, but I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my guess, because he wasn't playing today. He wasn't playing yesterday, and he's on the road. They're going on the road against Washington today. I don't know if he's coming on that trip, because they go back to Toronto on Saturday. But
I wanted to mention or talk about BERUBE, because we haven't talked about him in a little bit and how we think he's been doing. I wanted to ask you then. So, how do you think he has made a difference for this team at all? Like, have you noticed a difference that
I think so. Definitely defensively minded. I think we're definitely stronger. Just looking in the past few games that we've played, we've only allowed more than 3 goals. The last 10 games, we've only allowed 3 or more goals 3 times. Which is a really good stat. I think if you go back 14 games, it's still 3 times. If you go back to the Devils game in October 10th, like one of the first games of the season, we've only allowed 3 or more goals 3 times all year. So that's a good stat to look at in terms of defensively minded. The goaltending's definitely been better. Stolarz and Wall are both playing great. Despite that last game by who's in net last game against Ottawa, Stolarz. Yeah, that was kind of a rough game for him. But despite that, the defensive play has definitely been much better, and we definitely look tougher as a team, I think. That's the only improvements I've seen. The offense has always been there, so I'm not. There's no slacking on offense. We got shut out last game, but that happens once in a while. You can't. Allmark played a great game. You can't really say much about that, but yeah, I think the offense has always been there. It's just defensively we had to figure it out, and definitely much better than what it was last year. So that's definitely what I've seen with his coaching. What are your thoughts?
I'd say, yeah. Last game, I noticed he was doing he just seems more on top of these guys. You always hear about like how there's only so much I feel like you can do as a coach to begin with, because it's like with most sports. Like you can just guide these players. You can kind of be a therapist or like just a leader, somebody to let remind you of things that are going on, and if you're doing something right, if you're doing something wrong. That's what I feel like it is. I've been on teams and I understand kind of the coach's role, and especially when you're in the NHL, you are the best players in the world. So you're not going to go up to Austin Matthews and say to him, "Hey, man, you know what? I think your shot's looking a little weird these days. You know what? Maybe try this." It's like, no, like I am 100 times better than you ever were in your entire life at the peak of your career.
I mean, BERUBE was in the NHL, but Matthews is a different level. But
yes,
yeah, I understand what you're trying to say.
But I'm what I mean. It's like even with Sheldon Keefe's another example of somebody who's not even close to those guys.
Right.
So you're not gonna do that. But however, I think that you can still be a leader in the clubhouse, and I think they look up to Berube. They respect him, and I think what was going on with Keefe is they didn't respect him. And weren't the message that he was trying to relay weren't getting to the players. It's just like it doesn't mean anything. It's like you respect somebody, you respect you. It's like you respect your dad when he tells you, "Hey, knock that off, stop doing something." You stop doing it. You are reminded of it. Right. Whereas with Keefe, it's like it'd be like my sister telling me to do something, like go clean your room. I'd be like, "Shut the fuck up! I'm not doing it." Like,
no, I do understand that point because Berube's also won a Stanley Cup before, and he's more of a veteran coach than Keefe is. So that's another reason why I think these guys are a bit more disciplined this year. Another reason why I think they're a bit better defensively is the choices he's made with picking people in the lineup. Reeves has definitely been playing a lot less, so that also helps with stamina on the fourth line. Not to discredit Reeves or anything, but Reeves is getting old, and he's only on the ice for 30-40 seconds on the ice, and then he has to come off. So I think that's also a good reason. He's making good choices in the lineup. Getting younger guys on the team, giving them more chances. Like Lorentz has been very good for this team on the fourth line. I got to give a shout out to him because he came in this year during training camp and he was like a little signing that Berube saw, and he's like, you know what, fuck it, let's put him on the team, and he's been playing very good. So that's just an honorable mention for who's been going under the radar for this team. And
I don't like. I mean, Robertson hasn't been playing like he did in the preseason games, obviously. Right. But you see the different players that I'm just looking at total ice time, right now. So it really is Jake McCabe, Mitch Marner, Morgan Riley, Ekman Larson, Chris Tanev, and then Nylander as the top guys. Mm-hmm. And we've seen a shift in Nyes as well, who's been playing really well in his second year, scoring lots of goals, and showing off his talents. But he's also very physical too. Definitely different from what it was last year, that's for sure. On who was on the ice. Again, it's different signings too, which affect that. But you look at players like. So last year, leaders were Morgan Riley, Austin Matthews, TJ Brody, Nylander, McCabe, Marner's, Tavares, those types of guys. Mm-hmm. So there definitely is a shift. There's more a defensive core, I feel like, is on, because last year there was just so many different defensemen coming in and out, whereas now we have a really good core of defensemen that are on a lot and being really, really good a lot. Like McCabe, Riley, Chris Tanev, and Ekman Larson have been great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Definitely the defensive side, like I mentioned, is definitely the improvement here. And that's what we needed, man. That's what we needed, and that's what I thought initially when Berube was called in to be the new coach. That's what I thought he would be. You'd be a better defensive asset for the team and coach the Leafs into being a better defensive team, and that's what they've been. They've only let in 3 goals or more in a game 3 times this year. So that's an improvement, if you ask me.
And yeah, out of how many games have we played? 17 right now. So that is really good. That is really good.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully that continues. I think.
Actually, no. I apologize. It's I think it's 5 times. But still, it's an improvement. I think some of those games some of those games are probably empty netters. So
yeah.
But we still count it anyways. But I still think we're still a better defensive team than what we were last year at the beginning of the season.
We definitely are. The amount of times I remember games being like 6-5 Leafs winning because fucking
we had to outscore the other team in order to win.
Samsonov, I just remember so many games where Samsonov was like, "Holy shit, dude! Like you can't let that in. Like you can't let that in." And we had all the drama. It's just like that's the thing. It's like that's the difference with this team. It's like there's drama.
I just hope that doesn't happen to Stolars or Wool down the road. I just hope they can stay consistent and not have more of those types of games where you have to outscore the team in order to win.
I actually think Wall's going to start being better too. That's the other thing.
Yeah, because he's getting healthier, right?
Yeah.
So that's also a good sign.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's move on. I have a little bit of baseball to talk about because there are some important things going down. It's the same thing, kind of the same things as what has been happening last week. Trade talks and free agency signings are starting to pick up, starting to heat up, especially with Juan Soto. This week, Blue Jays are meeting with Juan Soto to discuss signing with the Blue Jays. And I listened to Gate 14 podcast and their pod, little mention right there, and they talked about they're starting to believe that they have a really good chance, and it's scaring me because I still don't. I want to believe. I want Soto badly. I want to, but I can't put I literally did what every sports fan is not supposed to do last year with Ohtani. I believed in it. I said he's not going to the Dodgers. I told myself, no, who cares that it's beautiful there? He already plays in LA. He's with a team that's way better than the Jays. They'll give you so much more money. There's just a million things that are better. And I told myself, no, it doesn't matter. He wants to come to Canada. And what do you know? He signs with the Dodgers. And I'm afraid that's going to happen again, and he's going to sign back with the Yankees, and I'm going to be fucking hurt. But it looks as if that something actually is happening. It's every source. It's Hyman. It's Rob fucking Longley, I feel like his name is. Or no, Robert Murray. That's the guy. One of the other beat writers for one of the big publishing companies. And Jeff Passan was saying that, who you trust. That's one of the guys you trust. John Morosi, you don't trust, but he said it too. All these guys and reporters have been stating how the Jays actually might have a chance at Soto. They might actually have a chance. So I think it's going to happen. I want to say yes, but I just can't see it. There's little things here and there.
I think one thing that definitely puts it, kind of not out of reach, but a smaller chance is that they're meeting with the Jays first out of any of the other teams. So they're giving him the first offer that he sees, and that's probably a bad thing because maybe these teams that he meets with after, like the Mets, who are looking to get him, or I think another team was the Red Sox. I think they were these teams that are meeting with him after the Jays. They're probably going to be giving them higher numbers than what the Jays are probably going to be giving. Kind of similar to with Ohtani last year, with how the Jays met with him first before he met with the Dodgers or any other teams that he was meeting with. And that was definitely an issue with the contract, because I'm sure Soto's main priority is money in terms of what he wants for a contract and not just where he's staying.
So, yeah.
So I don't know, man. I think it's the same situation with Ohtani last summer. I think he'll probably resign with. I think he'll probably winter. Sorry, I think he'll probably resign with the Yankees. I think that'll probably happen.
I mean, they have the money, they have the market. He just went to the World
Series. And it seemed like he really enjoyed it there too, playing with.
It did.
He liked enjoying. He probably enjoyed playing with Judge and Stanton in that outfield. I'm sure he enjoyed that a lot. And I don't, New York's New York, the biggest market in baseball and probably sports, North American sports. Why would you want to go to bum ass fucking Toronto? I don't know, man. I'm not saying, Toronto's, a bad place to live, but compared to New York and, the Yankees just, made it to the World Series, why would you leave?
Yeah.
And go to the Jays or the Red Sox. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I completely agree with you. I think it's going to be I want the Jays I want them to sign him because I love this team and I want them to. It was a really fucking terrible season this year. It was a really bad season. Mm-hmm. So many bad things went wrong, and you just made all these renovations. You need to find a way to bring back these fans. You lost a lot of fans. Like you disappointed a lot of fans, and for a market that's as big as the Blue Jays, like you have a whole country behind you. You're not a small market team. Like I don't think you are. I think the Jays are a big market team. They have the money to spend. They have the players. They have all the assets. They have the pitching, starting pitching, and it seems like they're going out and they're going to spend money on relief pitching, which was a big issue they had last year. So there's a lot of factors that are playing into how they're going to spend money this offseason. They don't have a good farm system. So you can't just do a repetition of the last couple of years where you sign these Brandon Belts and you sign these Justin Turners and these guys that are almost in their 40s and super old. You have to go out and get a big player because it's been forever since it's happened. You have the money. You can spend it. It doesn't matter. Like, don't worry about it.
When was the last time we signed a big player?
I guess I think you could say maybe Kevin Gausman.
Okay.
But he wasn't insane. Like he wasn't. Right. I don't even think the Jays have ever made like a Trey Turner. They've never made like a Trey Turner, Ohtani, Aaron Judge type signing, something like that, or re-signing or something like that. And maybe you could say with like Jose Bautista, like signing him to multi-year deals, that kind of thing. But it's nothing like. Oh my gosh, George Springer's an example, but he's still 60
I guess that's the last person.
Yeah, that's the last one. I think it was a pretty superstar, relatively big signing. It hasn't worked out for the Jays. It's not like you look back on it. It's like, I don't know. What do you before? Tell me, name one signing you think that like big 10-year long signing that has been panned out very well for a team.
Well, so far Ohtani. First year, fucking
we gotta look at
probably going to be MVP.
You gotta think about 8 years from now. Ohtani's noodle arm, Well,
I think that one year is already somewhat 50-60% worth it for the team because they fucking won a championship
just off Ohtani.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's already worked out so far, and I'm sure he won't have a bad year next year unless he gets injured. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know any big contracts in the league that. Like in MLB terms, I'd say one that's worked out in hockey is Nathan McKinnon because he's won a championship with Colorado. He's won a Hart Trophy. I'd say that for hockey because he got signed to a big contract very young. I would say, Crosby's not really that big of a contract. It was 8x8. It was
I'd also say Crosby's it's on the same team. I'm thinking free agent signings. I'm thinking went to a different team and absolutely the way if we got Soto, Soto would be just help the team.
Yeah, I understand.
I honestly think Messier
I don't know.
to the Rangers. I think of that. You win the championship.
Yeah, I don't know if did Messier get traded, or did he sign with the Rangers?
Maybe he did. I don't know. Actually, that's a good question.
Did he get traded? Yes, he did get traded.
Oh, he did. Okay, never mind. Fuck. All right. Well, that sucks.
It's hard to find. Okay, let's just have a quick little look here. Big signings. Big signings that worked out.
I think. Okay, I got one for you for MLB though. Max Scherzer to the Nats from the Detroit Tigers. He signed.
Okay.
The Nats.
Oh, I have a good one.
Okay.
Peyton Manning when he signed with the Broncos. That's a good one. Two very good Super Bowl seasons. Should have won it in 2013, but they got destroyed by Seattle. Probably one of the best offenses of all time. I'm just having a quick look here.
I got another one.
On Reddit.
I'm thinking Randy Johnson to the D-backs.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
That's 4 Cy Youngs in a row. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's fair. I can't really think of. Yeah, that's all I can really think of. But I think Ohtani would definitely be
the other one.
Up there.
This is it. This is the one that will never be topped. Barry Bonds to the Giants.
Okay. Well, he didn't win a ring. So
still awesome. He went to the World Series, however.
Didn't they get swept?
No, they did not.
Okay.
Ohtani 7. Actually,
Ohtani will be better than him after this contract.
But Ohtani might be on.
I'm not saying a better player.
Okay.
I'm just saying the contract will work out better because he's already won a ring and an MVP.
He has already won a ring, which is crazy. It's fucked. All right. Well, let's move on then, and let's do our top 5, which is related to hockey, actually, which we were just talking about. We're going to be doing top 5 most clutch playoff moments in the NHL. This is a series of 3 that we have been doing. With last week we did football, the week before we did baseball, this week we're doing hockey, and then we're going to end it off there, and then we got some more top 5s next week, which are going to be very exciting, which Ryan came up with, which I do like.
Oh, I have a great one. Sorry, one more. LeBron James to Miami. That's the best. That's the best free agent signing.
Did he win 1 or 2 championships?
Two championships, and pretty sure he won 3 MVPs with Miami. So that's definitely one. Every year he was at Miami, he went to the finals. That's definitely the best one.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. 6 years, $110 million. That's definitely the best one.
Yeah, that is a good 6 years. Yeah, wow. I completely forgot he even went.
Or you can do Shaq to the Lakers. To the Lakers. That's another good one. Here, I'm just looking at a list right now. Barry Bonds at 2.
There you go.
Alex Rodriguez to the Rangers. Shaq, Kobe. Kobe's not really. Greg Maddux to the Braves, Randy Johnson, like you mentioned. Oh yeah, Drew Brees to the Saints. That's another good one. Reggie White to the Packers. Great.
Oh, the other one
defensive lineman
is Greg Maddux to the Atlanta Braves.
Did I not just say that?
Oh, did you? Oh, never mind.
Manny Ramirez to the Red Sox. That's another good one.
Same with Big Papi to the Red Sox.
Ichiro to the Mariners.
Yeah,
but he didn't win a ring. But sure.
You know what I'd say?
Bobby Vanilla. Really well. That is the worst one. What the fuck?
Which one?
Bobby Vanilla. That motherfucker's still getting paid right now.
The worst one is Chris Davis. Chris Davis, he's still getting. He just finished getting paid. Actually,
what's a horrible hockey one is Rick DiPietro. He's still getting paid to this day.
Rick DiPietro.
He was. I think he won the Vezina, and he signed with the Islanders. I'm pretty sure he's still getting paid right now.
Oh, poor guy. Oh, my God.
He had like 1 or 2 good seasons, and then the rest were fucking dog shit. He's still getting paid right now, I think, which is crazy. Oh, horrible contract. But nonetheless, let's move on to our top 5, though.
Let's move on to our top 5. Okay. I'll start it off, this one.
You decided to, right? You said what we were doing?
Oh, yes. I said what we were doing.
Okay.
Top 5.
Just because we were kind of mixing up with the contract talk.
again, I'll say it again. Top 5 clutch NHL playoff moments, Stanley Cup playoff moments. All right. I didn't do an honorable mention, but if I were to do one, I don't know if you did one. Did you do one?
We don't have to do one. It's fine. Okay. This one is a little bit tougher to find.
It was tough to find. Again, it's different sports have different amounts of moments that can kind of dictate what is clutch. So I'd say, but at number 5, I got Brad Richards tying Game 5 of the second round against Washington in 2012. 6.6 seconds left, and then Mark Stahl winning it in OT with less than 2 minutes in. Which is
Richards. Okay. Oh, I do remember that. Okay. This is the Flyers when he played for the Flyers.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you said the semifinal.
It would be the second round. Yeah.
Second round. Okay.
Yeah. Against Washington in 2012. I mean, you can't get any closer. I mean, you could get closer in 1 second, but 6.6 seconds. That's coming in right at the right moment. He got to be as clutch as that, and then that advances them right on to the next round. So, and then Mark Stahl, one of the best brothers, groups of brothers with Eric and
great hockey family.
Yeah, great
Stahl
hockey
brothers.
family. I don't know the other two. I know there's 4.
Mark, Eric, and Jordan.
Jordan, yeah.
Eric's probably the better one.
Yeah.
He won the cup with won the cup with Carolina.
Number 4, I think you and I probably both have this on our list. Patty Kane scoring he's scoring twice. Was it? I don't think he scored twice, but they scored twice in 17 seconds, and then OT win against the Flyers in 2010.
Yeah.
That was one of the. I've seen that replayed over and over again. You don't even know if the puck actually gets in the net, and then you see Patty Kane running down the line all the way to the goalie to celebrate, and it was, of course, it was in Philadelphia, which is a great town for sports in general. So I think that, and it's also a repeat of what happened the year prior, where the Flyers took them out of the playoffs. So it was, I'd say, an awesome game, an awesome series. If you rewatch, there's these documentaries online of like that entire like breakdown of that season. Oh my gosh, what an insane team.
Yeah. It was their first cup in like 40 years.
45 years,
something like that. Yeah.
The next one, another Chicago Blackhawks. This one comes in, I think the year prior, I want to say. It's with Jonathan Taves game-tying shorthanded goal in the conference semifinals in Game 7 against Vancouver, scoring a shorthanded goal. One of the craziest things to do, game tie, and then obviously they go to win the game in advance.
2011?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I want to say, yeah.
Okay. These are some interesting moments you're pulling right now.
I know, bro. I had to, you know where I find these moments? Reddit.
First Vancouver?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you not remember this moment?
I don't think I do.
No? Okay, but the next one...
Yeah, I see. Okay.
The next one I think you will remember, though.
So this is yeah, okay, I got it down.
Bergeron tied it against the Leafs in 2013, then winning it in OT.
Dude, whenever I see that in a highlights video, I skip it immediately.
4-1. One of the craziest games of all time.
I'll give you after this. I'll give you a great story about that game.
I know the story about the game.
No. Like my personal story of.
I know your personal story about.
Oh, you know it? Okay.
Yeah. That was like the.
All right, I'll say it right now. So basically, the Leafs are up 4-1. 10 minutes left in the game. Me and my dad are like, "So who are the Leafs playing next?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after overtime, I started bawling my eyes out.
My dad and I were literally talking about it when game two of the wild card game. We're like, okay, so how are we going to get down to Toronto tomorrow? Like, so what are we thinking? We're going to take
right.
So much.
And then I start crying, like bawling my eyes out after the overtime game.
Did you actually cry?
Yeah, I was fucking 8 years old, dude. It was like the first time I've been heartbroken
I kind of
in a
get that.
fucking a fucking sports game. It was one of my first, yeah, because I remember when my dad was like, when the Leafs make the playoffs, you don't have to go to bed early. You can stay up to watch the games if they make the playoffs or something.
No.
Yeah, and then that was like, yeah, that was before I was like a Bills fan, and like before Bills were good in the playoffs or.
Have you cried
the,
at
the
any
Raptors
moments?
No, just that. Just that.
Number
I think
one.
I think I might have shed a tear during the Bills Chiefs game, 13-second game, maybe just like one little moment, but no, that was the only moment.
You were mad though. Like, were you mad? Like,
I was furious. I was furious.
Yeah.
Every year, I'm furious after the Bills lose. Every year, and every year the Leafs lose in the playoffs, I'm always furious.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the only time I've ever fucking cried after a loss. But yeah, so what's your number one?
Number one, 1994 Stanley Cup Final saw the New York Rangers face off against the Vancouver Canucks. Rangers led by their captain, Mark Messier.
The guaranteed game?
What's that?
The guaranteed win? Said we're going to win this game. Or is that that was game 6, I think.
Yeah.
He's like, this is the guaranteed win.
Yeah.
We're winning this fucking game. They were down 3-2. And they had to win. He's like, we're winning this game, and he scored with like 6 minutes left or something.
Yeah,
in Vancouver.
But this was also 54 years of championship drought drought for the New York Rangers, and I think he's also he gets obviously Messier gets overshadowed by Gretzky 100%. We all know this.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we also know that he's one of the best players to ever play the game. He's played a very different game than Gretzky, way more aggressive, way more vicious, and honestly,
Messier had a lot of cheap shots. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I know that. But I'm saying that's what I'm saying. He's an aggressive player. He's very aggressive. He's lots of penalties, but a great player at that too. He scored lots of goals. Hall of Famer indefinitely, like one of the best to ever play the game. 100%, and played on an insane team. And yeah, like it was. I think it's good for them. I think that was one of the coolest moments probably for Messier too. I'm sure the entire like world of hockey had just blown up, and because of the Rangers and their championship. So it was a great moment. And if you watch that Game 7 series on Amazon Prime, they talk about this series.
Yes, I still have to watch that, but I'm definitely going to watch that this week.
Really, really good. Yeah, but they
talk about Gretzky Game 7 against the Flyers, I think, in '87.
They did
against Ron Hextall.
Yep. Yeah, Ron Hextall. Yeah, they
who won the Conn Smythe. Him and McDavid, I think, are the only two people who won the Conn Smythe.
To lose.
Who lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what else was I going to say? Sorry. Yeah, it was that, and then also that I was going to choose, and then or that I watched on that Game 7. They have Game 7 where Aaron Boone home run, walk off home run.
That's right. Yeah.
Cubs, and then they got Dirk.
Dude, Dirk is one of my favorite like sports people.
What's his last name? Norkowitz or
Nowitzki?
Nowitzki, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Nowitzki, Game 7 of, I think it was the semifinals, I want to say, or conference semifinals against the San Antonio Spurs. That was really good. Mark Cuban's in that, so you got to love it. And then really good, like really, really good. Well done.
Yeah.
So I recommend you watch those if you
Dirk winning that championship in 2011's got to be the greatest feat in basketball. He beat Kobe after them going back to back. He beat the fucking the Thunder with Durant, Westbrook, and Harden. He beat the Spurs with fucking Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Ginobili, and then he beats the big three in the finals. He beats fucking LeBron, Wade, and Bosh in the finals.
That's crazy.
That's one of the craziest championship runs ever, and like it gets rarely talked about. That's why I like Dirk so much, because he's a humble guy too, man. He's not an asshole. Like that guy's a fucking humble dude. You know, came from basically nothing from Germany. Fucking wins the championship. But yeah, aside Rangers Game 7. That's a good moment.
Yeah,
I like him when he's in Game 6. He's like, we're winning this game.
Yeah.
He's like, he guarantees the win, and he scores the game-winning goal in Game 6, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it in my list, though, but I have something similar. At number 5, I have, I'm surprised I didn't have this one. This one was pretty clutch. This is Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final in 2013. Bickle and Boland, Leaf legend, Boland. They both score in the final 2 minutes of the game, I think, to win the Stanley Cup for the Blackhawks. They were down 2-1, I think, in the game against Boston, and then Bickle scores to tie it up, and then not even like 20 seconds later, Boland scores to win the game, which was very clutch at the time. I literally thought Boston was going to win that series when I was a kid. That was the same year the Leafs lost to Boston, that 4-1 series. Number 4, I have to have a Leafs moment in here, because I'm a fucking biased fan. Bill Barocco winning the Stanley Cup in overtime for the Leafs in 1951. Tragically hip. Talk about it. 50 Mission Cap. One of the best songs ever. Bill Barocco, and then he passed away the next year. Very sad, but Bill Barocco won the Leafs the Cup. Number 3, I have iconic moment in all of sports, in my opinion. Bobby Orr, the diving goal in the Stanley Cup Final against the Blues. I can't remember what game it was. Either game 1 or 2, I can't remember. But yeah, the diving goal after scoring. Bobby Orr, one of the great, probably the most famous goal behind the golden goal in hockey, I'd say. Bobby Orr and Sidney Crosby in the 2010 Olympics. So I have that at number 3. Number 2, I have Alec Martinez in overtime against the Rangers in 2014 Stanley Cup Final. Double overtime to win the game. It's pretty iconic in my opinion. You got to put that on the list. It was a massive rebound by Lundqvist. I don't know how the fuck he didn't do better on that play, but that's probably his biggest regret of his career, even though he didn't win a cup. But he probably wishes he played that shot better. But they were down 3-1 in the series at the time, so it was probably a tough road back to win that series. But nonetheless, I have that number 2. And then number 1, the one you mentioned, Patrick Kane in overtime against the Flyers, I think is very iconic. And I feel like I'm a Blackhawks fan with how many Blackhawks moments we've been talking about recently, but I think it's just because they have so much iconic moments in the playoffs. Patrick Kane, probably one of my favorite players growing up. He had the flair, probably the best American player to ever play the game. Had the style, had the flair, had the charisma on the ice. He was a fucking great player, had style. Scores a fucking amazing goal. Didn't know where it was in the net. After like 5 seconds, they figure it out. And they win the cup after, what did you say, 45 years?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Patrick Kane, man. That's my number 1. It was really hard to, pick this one because I feel like there is more hockey moments, but, it's hard to pick for hockey. It's a bit different than picking baseball or football. So, but yeah. We got some great top 5s though coming up. We finished this little series here, but we got some cool ones not related to sports. We got some cool ones in the vault. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, it's gonna be it'll definitely be good. I'm for sure. Anyway, anything else you have to add, my friend?
No, but go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Keep up the great work, Billies.
Yeah,
you guys have been great. I haven't noticed any issues. So as long as that stays the same, keep it up. I think things are going to be.
If we can go 9-2 into the bye week, that would be fantastic. Fantastic.
That would be. You're absolutely.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much. Remember, we're on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you get your podcast. We are there. Thank you very much for listening. We will see you next week. Go Bills, go Leafs, go Blue Jays in their race to get Juan Soto, and have a good one. Cheers.